Hi, and welcome to Horses for Healing. This video is to help introduce you to some of the safety things out at the barn and also to have a better understanding of what some of the tasks that you can complete when volunteering. We thank you for taking the time to come out and help at Horses for Healing. Our riders love the fact that they get to come out once a week and that so many people are dedicated to their success in life. Okay, first we're going to go through a couple of the different ways that you might help sidewalk with a rider. A lot of our riders are fairly independent, so we might say that they simply just need to have a spot. So Mackenzie will show you that if you have spotting, then you're going to stand just enough that should the rider need some assistance, you can reach up and put your arm to help them to get through if there's a time that maybe they lose a little bit of balance or they feel not safe. So we also then, the next common way that we will help sidewalk with people is a full arm side hold. And so you're going to want to have your forearm over the mid thigh of the rider. We always want to be conscientious that we're not touching in any way that might be uncomfortable for a rider. We don't use our hands to grab onto anything like that. Sometimes with some of the riders, you can kind of find even a place to rest your hands in there if need be to help have more firm. So we do have that. And then we'll show you as we're walking how that can help keep a rider secure. Then as riders advance, the next time is that we might actually just say maybe down with an ankle by the stirrup hold. And so you can hold just there so that they feel that security. And it's usually because the rider doesn't necessarily need it because they're that successful of a rider. However, that just helps build their self-confidence knowing that somebody's there. Now we're going to show you how some of the different obstacles that we work on here. Mackenzie is showing a full arm hold with the rider. And one of the tasks next will be that they're going to the mailbox. And they'll practice getting mail in and out of the mailbox. Every different thing depends on the rider. So some riders have different items that they're grabbing out of the mailbox and for different reasons. Next, we will be showing you that you might be weaving through the cones. Because of all the turning, this is where you just need to make sure that you keep up with the horse and the rider, and that way you don't ever get behind them, and that you're always there. This is a common obstacle that we do, is weaving in and out of the cones. And then they will come to a stop. I'm going to show you a couple safety tips when it comes to approaching a horse and how you work around a horse. Often you'll see horses that are tied to the wall and might not have a rider or leader with them. You always want to be aware, just as she just moved right here, that horses can do that. She obviously knew I was there, but I'm going to show you, should you be approaching a horse that doesn't know that you're coming up, the best way to do that. You never want to come up straight behind a horse. They cannot see directly behind them, so they might not know that you're there, and you might startle them and cause them to possibly kick or spook and swing around quickly. A great way to approach a horse is to always come so that they can see you, and you come up from the side. She's obviously paying attention to something else right now, so I want to make sure that I calmly come in, and I don't just abruptly come up and start petting her. A good way is also to just let them smell you, especially if they've never met you before, just so that they know that you're okay. Just as people, we don't like to just come up and start talking and touching somebody we don't know, so it's always a good idea to go ahead and give them time to get to know you. One of the things that you can do out here is to help brush the horses. This is just a common brush that we use, and we always brush along with the hair. You don't want to comb and brush against the hair just as you would a human. Their hair goes in different, you can see that on this back end, you kind of almost have to make some curves when you have it. So that's how we brush it off. We always will brush the horses to make sure that there isn't mud and things like that where the saddle goes and also where the girth goes so that they don't have any sores. Again, when you're around a horse, please make sure that they know where you are at all times. If you want to go around to the other side, we're going to go ahead and put our hand here and let her know the whole time that I'm changing, that I'm here as I go around to the horse. And then I'll start back up here as well on the front and work my way back. If you don't feel comfortable staying close to the horse like this when you're going around them, the other option is to make sure that you have a full horse length away So you could start here, and then you'll make a full way so that there's plenty of room between you and the horse to come around. Again, you're going to come around to the front so that they see you here and do whatever you need to do. The other common thing that people want to do is they want to crawl under the horse's neck. That is not safe to do. If the horse were to move forward, that could smash you between you and the wall. And sometimes if that were to startle a horse, you could get caught up in the lead rope here. You could also, if the horse pulls back and their legs go forward, they could potentially kick you. So please don't ever crawl under the front of a horse. Also, we don't crawl under their bellies, and we don't, if you like to learn how to pick a horse's hooves up, then the staff here and the instructors will be more than happy to help you. As always, if you have questions or there's something you want to learn or you don't understand, please make sure you ask one of the instructors or one of our lead volunteers, and they're always happy to help you learn more about horses and what you can do. A couple tips when working with people that have different abilities. When talking about a rider or just any individual that might have a different ability, we do not define them as their disability. So you would not say the autistic boy. You would refer to him as the boy that has autism. Also, when working with people that have different abilities, please be sure that you give them lots of time to process. Sometimes it does take them a little bit more time if you've asked them to do something. So if you ask them to open the mailbox, you might have to sit and wait for a while. I know that that pause can be uncomfortable for everybody, but it actually is really beneficial for them. Also, there are instructors that are giving the lesson. So when volunteering, if you want to give praise or you have questions, please always make sure that you ask the instructor the best way to go about that with that particular rider. Everybody has different milestones, different goals, and that kind of stuff, so it is best to always ask the instructor how to go about that. And also, as always, we always remind people to please keep the things out here private. You don't go back and please talk to others about names and what their disabilities and that kind of stuff would be. It's pretty simple. Treat others as you'd like to be treated. Thanks so much, and we look forward to seeing you at the barn.